ABC, it's Rene. It's been a while since the last update video, so Sunday night, extremely late, on vacation tomorrow, so felt like making a video. It's about 1 o'clock here, everybody's in bed, so I have to kind of keep it down a little bit. Been a little quiet here in the BC lately, spring rolling around, and me personally, I've just been kind of chilling out. Haven't been doing a lot of digging. Actually went out a little bit over the weekend, but it's first for a little while, I guess. But and actually kind of trying to get more focused on my collecting. I enjoy all types of music, rock mainly, but blues, jazz, a little bit of old school country. But as everybody knows, I'm mainly a metalhead. 80s metal is where my heart is at. So kind of getting more focused on that. I think going forward here for a little while. But who knows? Changes all the time. But right now it's kind of where my mindset is. But anyways, kind of jump into this. What's playing? I'm sure you can hear it. Like I said, it's late. Got everything kind of low. There's Except Balls to the Wall. Just classic 80s metal album. Just front to back, great album. If you dig 80s metal, you never heard Balls to the Wall, do so. Check it out online. Find a used copy somewhere. Great album. Alright, a little bit of everything in this stat. This might be a long video, so kick back, grab a beverage of your choice. Starting out with metal and hard rock stuff, and there's some other things here in another stack I gotta grab. And a little bit of new stuff, some stuff got in the mail, not much, and a good bit of stuff out of the inbox, or whatever you want to call it, the just in piles or whatever. So, but starting off, everybody knows Robert Z. Him and I kind of did a little deal. I sold him a couple albums I thought he would really dig, and those albums should be in his collection. He seemed to be very happy after seeing his video he posted today, and I couldn't be happier. That they're now in his collection. He likes the audiophile pressings, the mobile fidelity, and that kind of thing. But so Robert Z, that was a great deal. I'm very happy. It appears you're very happy. So it was really, I'm happy those records are with you now. Definitely belong with you more so than in my collection. Very cool stuff, but I know you'll enjoy them more than I will. But I thought I would kind of show these just for Robert Z. I know he likes this kind of stuff. And I don't have a ton of these kind of pressings, maybe 20, 30, maybe, very most, scattered throughout the collection. These are two I'm like really kind of proud of. Zeppelin 2, it's a MoFi pressing, mobile fidelity. An original one. I don't know if they've ever redone it or whatever, but I found this a long time ago at a yard sale or flea market, like a couple bucks. I had to grab it, and this is, looking it up in like a gold mine book, just trying to get some information on it. Crazy money, but scored it really cheap, really happy. So plus, dig the album. And one other one, Robert Z seemed to be real excited about the Nautilus, and I think this is the only other Nautilus pressing I have. And it's the Allman Brothers. Was it Live at the Fillmore? Yep. This thing's like dead mint. Perfect. And same deal, you know, looked up information on it, and this goes for crazy money too, evidently. Or that's what the price guide says. Who knows? I've never looked online. For all I know, they go for, you know, $10. But crazy story about this. I was heading home from work. There was something going on the main roads. I took a back roads home and went by this house out in the middle of nowhere. The guy had blue tarps up over stuff and it said sale. So I went in and he had like 200 or 300 records. Most of them were waterlogged and completely damaged and crap, to be honest. And sitting in there was this, in perfect shape, near mint. And I'm like, this is the only thing I found that day off this guy. I was like, how much are you asking for records? And he's like, 75 cents. So I actually found this for 75 cents, way off the beaten path, amongst a bunch of other waterlogged records. How that didn't get messed up like everything else, I have no idea. But I just thought I'd kind of show you that for Robert. You know, I know he's into those kind of pressings, and you know, I got really lucky finding those, and I'm proud to have them in the collection. Both are great albums. And also, Robert Z, I kind of let him know, you know, sold some records to him, and total purpose was to free up some space and to get some more cash in to buy some more records. And here's one that I picked up with the money from Robert Z. It's a compilation called Heavy Metal Killers. And Rene in Spain, if you're watching, this made me think of you, man, when I found it. Found this on eBay for $12 shipped. It's from 2009 on Earache. And it's, I haven't opened this yet. It's fun, but you know, I do know some of the bands on it. And the reason I picked it up is it's new wave of traditional heavy metal, which Rene's been talking a lot about. If you haven't checked him out, I'll try and leave a link down here in the description. Great metal guy from Spain, and he's done a couple videos on new wave of traditional heavy metal. But there's bands on here like Power Vice, White Wizard, Cauldron, Ram, Enforcer, Portrait, Cast Iron. Just looks like it's going to be a killer comp of newer bands playing, you know, traditional metal. So had to grab that. So thanks, Robert. Yeah, grab that because of you, brother. And so let's kind of get into it here. Yeah, now all that's out of the way. Like I said, metal up front here and everything else in the back, and there's a little bit of everything in here. Rock, a couple jazz things, and so here we go. Grabbed these from Hell's Headbangers, the website. Somebody told me about this band, and I've said this a couple times before, I can't remember who it was, but checked them out and loved it, and finally tracked down 2 albums by them. Screamer. This is Phoenix, and this is on High Roller. I say it all the time, High Roller knows how to do it. They do it right. Nice gatefold, beautiful pressing, quiet as can be. And this is one of these new wave of traditional heavy metal bands, newer band, and this is great. It's their second album, and I got their first album, Screamer, Adrenaline Distractions, and this is their first album on High Roller also, and this is amazing. Phoenix is good, but this first album is just a kick in the teeth. This is a good album. If you dig traditional 80s style metal, yeah, if you want to hear a new band put their spin on it, this is fantastic. I mean, this ranks up there with the White Wizard stuff and Ram and all that. Love this. Alright, found this today, or not today, yesterday, day before yesterday, whatever, this weekend. In this shop going through the dollar budget bins, wherever they had everything in there for like a quarter to a buck or something, and they had some kind of sale going on. Didn't find much, just a couple things, but I couldn't believe I found this, and I'm going to leave the price tag on it. 50 cents, Peter Criss, Out of Control. This was the first Peter Criss solo album, 1980, after he left Kiss. Promo copy. Hope you can see, 50 cents here. And actually, they end up writing on it free, because with the sale, you know, you buy a couple or whatever, you get one free. This one ended up being free, and it's in fantastic shape. I haven't spun the album yet. The album looks hardly played. Promo copy. The promo's stamped, only like half of it stamped or something. I don't think it rubbed off, I just think it wasn't stamped correctly, but that was cool. And I've had these for a while. Just kind of pulled them out, showed it when I found that one. I do have another copy. Like I said, I've had this forever, and that has a correct promo stamp on it. Don't write, this one has a slight warp in it. Plays fine, but it has a little bit of a warp, so I'm happy to find this other copy. Hopefully it won't have a warp. And here's your second album, Let Me Rock You, Peter Criss. I think this was 82. And I actually got looking at these, because I have played these forever, and never really, you know, looked around online for them. And from what I can tell, this was never released in the U.S. And I just got looking on this tonight, and this is it says printed in the Netherlands. So kind of crazy. And there's a German pressing that has this on the cover, this picture on the cover, and I'm assuming this picture on the back. But kind of cool. If anybody knows if that was released in the U.S., let me know. But I didn't come across any U.S. pressings. It was all either Netherlands or Germany, and I think one from like Hong Kong or something like that. But anyways, kind of cool. Just thought I'd pull those out and, you know, show them. I got this a while back from Doom.com. Haven't been ordering a lot from them lately, but did have to grab this. It was on their last update email. Old Man's Will. Don't know anything about these guys yet. Haven't really checked into them. This is on Easy Rider Records. But this is phenomenal. It's 70s hard rock style. Kind of that deep purple cactus kind of thing. Reminds me a little of Blood of the Sun, but not as full on as that band. But you know, a lot of organ stuff in here, just good rock. I will say the pressing is a little noisy. I actually had to clean it as soon as I got it. Dropped the needle, and like halfway through the first song, it skipped, and it just had something on it, you know. But I cleaned it, and it plays fine now. No more skips, but you know, it is a bit noisy. Not noisy, but you can definitely hear some pops and crackles in between songs. But either way, you know, this fantastic. If you dig 70s hard rock and the newer bands, you know, kind of in that retro feel or whatever, check these guys out. Old Man's Will. I think it's self-titled. Yeah. But very cool album. Alright, like I said, this weekend I went out, and I guess you could say 2 major scores here, and it's kind of blew me away. And both of these are in like beautiful shape, and kind of not cheap. The first one is Hydra Vein, Rather Death Than False Faith. And this is a UK indie pressing, thrash band from like 88, I believe it was, late 80s actually for this. And just kind of Slayer-ish kind of sounding, a little slower than Slayer, but still in that vein. And I've seen this, in books and that kind of thing. I've never seen this in a while. I think I have a boot of it on CD somewhere. But to come across this in the wild in like near mint condition just blew me away. Had to grab it. And same with this. Actually talking to Mr. Bizarro, Aaron, not long ago about this band, asking each other, do you have much by them? And I'm like, on my end is like, no, they're just, they never turn up. They do, they're completely ragged to shit. And even in that condition, they want an arm and a leg. And when you find it in great condition, they're just through the roof. So, found this in great condition and reasonably priced. A little more than I wanted to pay, but I couldn't leave it behind. I just don't find this kind of stuff in the wild. It's Celtic Frost, or Celtic Frost, however you want to pronounce it. I've heard it both ways, and every time I ever mention this band, I get corrected on how to pronounce it. So it's Celtic Frost. Tragic Serenades. This is a 3-track EP. Like I say, Celtic Frost never pops up. It's on Combat Noise. The inners. Just had to grab it. And totally happy with it. Plays great, sounds great, quiet. Just blew me away finding that. And that was like the two in that one store, those two were in there. And I don't know if somebody had traded some other stuff in and I missed or not, but just finding those blew me away. Just kind of odd. There was nothing else even remotely like that in the shop. The other day I kind of got into want to hear some 70s hard rock, and ended up pulling out some Scorpions. Virgin Killer. Kind of their 70s stuff may get overlooked a little bit. I mean, this stuff is fantastic. I've had these forever. Hadn't listened to them for a long time, and now that I'm in that 70s hard rock mode, man, this fits right in there. Fantastic. And it actually got started with this one, Taken by Force, which I like a little more than Virgin Killer. It's just Steam Rock Fever, killer song. Just everything on here. And actually this is a promo copy. I never noticed that. But I'm really kind of digging into earlier Scorpions. I've always been a much more early 80s Scorpions guy, and then in the late 80s they got more, they found a sound and kind of stuck with it. But I've always known the 70s stuff, but never really dug into it as much as I should have, and I'm starting to now. Here's kind of a one-off, I can't remember the year on this, 85, Battle Axe, War on the Attack. Band from Wisconsin. I don't know, kind of going for that MTV metal sound, maybe a little bit. It's an okay album, nothing to really write home about, just kind of a metal obscurity. Great band from Chicago, Snow White. Kick 'Em When They're Down. This is an EP, I think this was their second EP. Female singer. Just great kind of speed metal, raw sounding. Really cool. I've had that forever. This I picked up a long time ago. I'm finally getting around to checking out. Mistress, the Indictment. I think these guys were from the Netherlands, and they were kind of a thrashy kind of thing. It's pretty good. Dug this. Don't know a lot about them, but probably need to give that another spin before I put it away. Some killer German metal. Faithful Breath, Golden Glory. It's a Mausoleum release. Just traditional metal. You know, Mausoleum's a legendary 80s metal label. I'm trying to remember the years, early 80s, early to mid 80s. They had a kind of like a Viking thing going on. And these guys actually started, I think, in the mid 70s with some singles, and then ended up, you know, getting in with the metal scene that was exploding, coming into the 80s, and they ended up putting out 5, 6 albums, I guess. A few on Mausoleum. Another German band, Brain Fever. Another Mausoleum release. Just more, excuse me, more kind of traditional metal. Good stuff. Killer band, indie release, Creed, also from Germany. And kind of traditional metal, I guess you could say. Here's the label. No, it's not the Creed everybody knows. But there was a Creed before that Creed. I think these guys had one other album. But, cool stuff. That's kind of a rare metal piece. And just a good fun album. Warrant Cherry Pie. Totally missed these guys when they were going on. Yeah, I heard them, of course, and you know, saw them on MTV, but just didn't get into them. At this time, you know, late 80s, early 90s. Here's the inner sleeve. It was oversaturated, this whole hair thing, and I'd kind of moved on to, you know, underground. You know, I was already listening to the Seattle stuff, you know, Soundgarden, Nirvana, and all that. And kind of digging back into some punk stuff. At the time I was getting into the Ramones, Bad Brains, and all that. And, you know, I'd kind of been there for Rat and Dokken when all these bands come along. It was like, okay, they're just jumping on board. But now, you know, years later, it's actually kind of cool. I can look back at this scene and check out a lot of these bands that I missed and really dig them now, you know. Which is cool. I can go back and, you know, check out Warrant and Trickster and all that stuff. But I actually put this on and was digging the shit out of it. So, alright, let me grab another pile here.